has been nearly 3 years since, as a college freshman, I started the Swerve Alliance, and nearly 2 years since it ended in the most ironic fashion with what was supposed to be just a regular upload joking about how the team had ended, and it turned out to actually be, in an ironic way, how the team ended. Obviously, Swerve ended for the typical reasons. We were all too busy. You have to consider that, a lot of the members were in high school or college. They were also working on their own personal channels, and creating videos for the team wasn't necessarily their top priority. So it was just something that seemed like it was better to leave with the legacy that it has. And it blows my mind that in 2018, people still ask me if Swerve is going to come back, what happened to Swerve, all of these types of things, because people still really do care about that organization. I think that in a lot of ways, Swerve was the first exclusively content creator team. We had no sniping division, no competitive division. We were strictly a content first, exclusively content creator team. And while people have copied that concept that I created after this, I really do believe it was an original idea that me and Luke T Concepts, Luke Tyler, came up with. But I also think that in a lot of ways, Swerve was one of those things where it was great when we were together, but it was almost better when we were apart. And it wasn't because we had beef with one another or something like that, but kind of in the same way of, for the lack of a better reference, One Direction. We were great as a group, but then when we broke apart, I think that so many of us had these spectacular individual careers or went on to do bigger and better things. And I like to think that Swerve was a platform that helped that happen. So in today's video, we're going to talk about the key members of Swerve. There will be some people that I will skip over, but we'll talk about many of the key members, what they did, what they meant to the team, and what they are doing now. I guess I should start with really the beginning. The beginning was in the summer of 2015. I was making all these Call of Duty documentaries. Over time, at some point in the fall of 2015, I made one about Jev. And while I never talked to Jev or spoke with Jev, I got to meet one of Jev's old friends, SRK. He had about 6,000 subscribers on YouTube. He'd been in many of Jev's older videos, and longtime viewers of Jev's channel or Swerve are likely familiar with SRK. Now, being a fairly sizable YouTuber at 6,000 subscribers, at least in the game that I was playing, which was the small YouTuber game, I approached SRK about working together to create a content creator team. While he didn't want to be a leader of any sorts in the organization, he was willing to help me out and become a member. So SRK became the first member of the Swerve Alliance. At this time, I was also talking with Luke and brought Luke on to be the co-leader, as Luke was a guy that had done a lot of my graphics, and I knew I could put him in charge of the graphics department, as well as knowing that I could put him in charge of some of the business end stuff as well. So in talking to SRK, he kind of gave me a sort of list to really start on of guys that he thought I should contact, interview, and just seek out and maybe bring them in as some of the initial members of the team. Me and Luke did not want to start the team with just a few members. We wanted to already have the team pretty established with a good roster when we kicked things off. So SRK gave me this list of people to contact. I did some looking on YouTube, also found some underrated YouTubers to contact. And really my goal was I wanted to look for people that had less than 2,000 subscribers. I'm starting a new team. I maybe at the time had like 30,000 subscribers on YouTube. I wasn't going to get a guy with 100K to join my team. It wasn't realistic. Plus, I felt that if I could find some guys that were starting out or that hadn't blown up yet, I could maybe assist them and get them to that point where maybe they could blow up and have some big growth. So with the help of SRK and some research on me and Luke's own, we were able to assemble an initial roster. Both Zach and Narwhal were instrumental in creating this sort of almost vlogger, beyond video games aspect that I felt like Swerve had. With them, I was able to put out content that was not only just gaming content, but also more of gaming lifestyle content, because they specialized in the vlogs and the videography things of that nature. Now today, I don't know that Zach still makes any YouTube videos. I haven't really kept up with him maybe as much as I should, but I know that he had been attending college not long after Swerve finished up, so I'm sure things are probably going great for him. Narwhal, on the other hand, John, some of you are probably familiar with the amazing journey he's had since Swerve came to an end. He's had this spectacular career where he is actually now a professional videographer for one of the biggest gaming organizations in the world, Obey. Previously, he worked for the Optic Gaming esports organization, I believe it was Outlaw Gaming. I think it was their Overwatch team. He did videography for them. I know he's also been in Dare. So right now he's in Obey, and he's just had this tremendous growth, and you know, he's really just taken himself to the next level and just went higher and higher in his videography career through all these gaming organizations. And I know that everybody in Swerve is very proud of what John has accomplished. And Janos, well, he was a longtime member of Swerve. I believe he was in the organization for the entire first run of the team from January to May of 2016. And he might have even been a part of it during the second comeback season, which was from October to December, but I can't totally remember. Regardless, Janos recently went back to making videos himself, which is great for him, and I wish him all the best in his rage-filled game sessions. Then there's SB. This guy was one of the best, most, in my opinion, underrated cut-commers out there. I found him absolutely hysterical. He had a little bit of that Luna feel to the kind of commentaries that he would put out, and I absolutely loved it. Now he runs an Instagram account that's approaching 500,000 followers, which is just mind-blowing, and is just another guy that really blew up on another platform in a different way than when he was in Swerve. Now those were all the OG members. Now how about the people that got recruited in the initial recruitment challenge that we ran, I want to say about a week after the OG members came in and we got the thing started. Here we have Dalton, who was a good friend of Zach's. At the time he was going by Zen's, and Dalton now does, you know, videography, photography types of things as well. He got into doing daily vlogging after he left Swerve. I don't think he does the daily vlogging anymore, but regardless, he's into doing this kind of work professionally, which is absolutely spectacular. And then there's Noah. Noah wanted to join the team initially, and I really regret the fact that I didn't, and I made him wait, you know, another couple weeks through the RC and have him go for that, for his shot to join. He ended up becoming one of the co-leaders with me and Luke, and Noah was just a huge part of this organization. I got to meet Noah in real life at VidCon 2016, and it was at that time in June, after the team had been down for about a month, that we talked about bringing it back, and eventually did bring it back that October for another short 3-month run. Noah, honestly, this guy achieved his dream. He, after, you know, finishing up with Swerve, got the chance to join XJMX, which was, you know, as a knifer, was kind of like the as high as you're going to go. It was like the top pedestal. And ultimately, unfortunately, XJMX ended. Noah didn't get to be on the team as long as he probably would have liked to have. But he got that opportunity. He got what he really wanted out of his, you know, gaming career of sorts. And he got to achieve that dream that he had talked about for so long. And then there's Naveen, man. Naveen is so, oh man, when he cut a comm, it was funny. And you know, you still see the stuff he puts up on Twitter. He is just hilarious. I find so much humor in that guy, and you know, I still interact with him on Twitter here and there. He was a great person to be a part of this organization, and I can totally see why Psycho took him on to be their head of content creation, their lead director of sorts. Kix, maybe sometimes known as the rapper of Swerve, he did a few rap videos for us. Kix, just, there was something in this guy's head where he just made some of the most creative things. I mean, from drawing the members to trying to apply to Gamma for a sponsorship, Kix did things that a typical content creator wouldn't think of. He just made this truly original content in a truly original way. And he's still making videos here and there, and I do wish Cole all the best. And then just another guy that was equally original was Wolf. I mean, we brought this guy in because he made a machinima. If you know what a machinima is, it's basically like, if you've ever watched Red vs. Blue, the Halo series, that's basically what a machinima is. He made one of these for a recruitment challenge, and I remember me and Luke watching it and being like, this guy, now this guy is something else. Because we wanted to not just create the typical content that gamers would watch. We wanted to create something, you know, that was fresh and new, and people like Kix and Wolf did that, and both of them, I feel like the entire time, were so criminally underrated. The fact that Wolf has not reached 1,000 subscribers yet, though he still makes videos and still makes such original videos, blows my mind, and I wish him the best in his continued growth. I know that when we recruited him, he was at, you know, maybe 200 subscribers, so he's definitely seen some growth, and I know it will come to him in time because he's just such a great guy. And then there was Ro. He's the only graphic designer we're going to talk about outside of Luke. We recruited him on the initial recruitment challenge, kicked him, later re-recruited him later on. So he ended up putting in a lot of work in his second round, and, you know, became kind of one of those internet friends of mine who hopefully I'll get to meet one day. We almost lined up meeting a few different times, but it never quite worked out with both of our schedules. Turned out he lived about 45 minutes away from me, which I didn't find out until after he joined the team, so that was kind of funny. And then one of my favorite soccer fan Brits, Danzar. Danzar, man, he brought such original content and just such an amazing voice. Danzar was always willing to interact, you know, in the DMs and whatnot. He was always very responsive to messages and was just a great, funny guy to have around. And some of the content that he brought to this channel was just so original, and I just keep saying that, but it's the truth. Some of these guys were so original in the content they were creating. Danzar doesn't make YouTube videos on his, you know, gaming sort of channel anymore. He created a new YouTube channel where he's doing, you know, again, more of the film photography type of stuff like some of these other guys, and I wish him all the best. And then there was Strive. We actually recruited him later on, not in a recruitment challenge. I think at this point we're past all the recruitment challenges and we're just doing individual recruitments. Strive was a guy that had been on my radar for a little while. I'd found him, I think, under 1,000 subscribers, and he just had this voice that was just so crisp for commentary. He would oftentimes talk about, you know, different game tips that he had, and that kind of thing. I didn't know if it would translate really well on the Swerve channel. It turned out it did, but Strive had phenomenal success later on after Swerve, eventually amassing basically as many subscribers as I have by doing sort of prank type videos, and he finally did a face reveal and, you know, got out there more, and he did this sort of comedy type stuff, and it was hilarious and it worked really well. And I know things are going to be great for him here in the future if he keeps on grinding on YouTube. And then there's Fly. I mean, kind of a similar story to Strive, but with even a bigger growth. I remember recruiting Fly around 200 subscribers. I mean, the guy had been making videos, it just didn't seem like anybody was watching them, but they were great videos, and I wanted to give him a platform where he could kind of start to get the ball rolling because he had great graphic design skills. I mean, he made his original graphics himself from what I remember, plus he was just great at editing. And as it turned out, Fly made some videos for us there towards the tail end of Swerve's existence, and then went on to amass nearly 100,000 subscribers on his personal channel, again while doing prank videos, similar actually to the ones that Strive was doing. And then one of the greatest fans of the Swerve Alliance, Spaces. Spaces tried so hard to join this team, and I remember when Fly finally did the surprise recruit, you would have thought he was joining FaZe or something. I mean, the guy was so excited, and it was one of those things that really motivated me to see how, you know, people really value this team. Spaces, when he was in the team, again, towards the tail end of its existence, really valued the team and really wanted to see things work out for us. The same goes for Respawn, who joined towards the end. Like Spaces, he really wanted to see things work out for this team. These guys were tremendously motivational to me because they supported the organization so much, and they were willing to do anything to make sure it worked out. In fact, our last video on the channel is made by Respawn because up until the end, he was really pushing to keep things going for us. But with over 1,000 subscribers, which I still consider to be a substantial milestone on YouTube, I'm very proud of the run that Swerve had and the run that these guys have had since they left the organization. Every single one of these people on this list is doing great things, and all of those things oftentimes expanded off of the fact that they were making gaming videos, even if they're no longer making gaming videos. all of the things I feel like that they learned in their time as content creators has made them be better content creators, or made them into, more of business-minded people that are now doing their own photography type of businesses or videography businesses. All of these guys are going to be super successful in the next 10 to 20 years. I know it. I saw it, a year or two ago when I recruited all of them. They all are going to do great things, and I'm just so proud that they were a part of the Swerve Alliance. I'm proud that I got to call myself the leader of the organization and that I got to work with some of these fantastic people. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Bailey. I will see you in the next video.